Greetings, mortals. I am Natus, one of the rulers of Hell, specifically Manga Hell, and today we will be reacting to the newest chapter of Welcome to the Demon School, Iruma-kun. Chapter 219, Kalego's go and Naberius Kalego, final part. Surprised to see there's not a part 3 instead of final part, but at the end, it's the end of this, I guess, kinda story arc. I'm not exactly sure. Like, there's some chapters in Iruma, I'm not sure if they're like epilogues to previous arcs, or they like build up to the next arc. And this is one of them. So, these last couple chapters felt like that, with this one also being something like that. But anyways, let's get into this reaction, shall we? So the first page we have is Naberius, I guess, showing us his back, because, well, that is basically what it is. And we see that he has 3 scratch marks. And now we get Kalago's explanation to what he meant when he said he doesn't have a familiar. The demons of the Naberius clan are possessed by dogs. I guess that's a way to say it. And then after that, we see a picture of like some kind of a magic like shape that's in the dog. And then we see younger Naberius being like, it begins when you see its manifestation. The first thing you must drill into it is discipline. As we see Naberius fighting his dog. Pretty much every real dog ever. Seriously, dogs are vicious animals that should be killed immediately. Don't ask me what I did with my Cerberus. And then we have Kalago's Cerberus. Well, see, Cerberus is different from bloodline magic. It is pure Ma infused with Naberius blood. And we see him fighting his dog again, and then we have him after, I guess, he tamed Cerberus, and it will bear its fangs at anyone it doesn't acknowledge as its master. It's a vicious beast. And then we see the current Kalego with his Cerberus besides him be like, that's why I don't have a familiar. Even if I try to summon one, my Cerberus chases them away. I guess that explains it. It's not that. I honestly thought it was like their family being exceptional or something like this. Or him like not being able to summon it, but him being ashamed for, and so it was just like a creation. But no, it turns out like it's some kind of possession, and that possession in their world is literally your own like sort of familiar. Surprising, but alright. And then we have Kalego continuing and Cerberus looks menacingly. My Cerberus chases them away. So yeah. And then we have Kalego being like, the reason I'm in charge of this familiar summoning ritual is because Cerberus keeps the newly summoned familiars in check. I feel like any teacher's familiar would be able to do that, but I guess Kalego Cerberus is like the best one to be used as that. Because he will already chase off if Kalego ever summoned a familiar. Which does now make me wonder. It's not said specifically, but is did Kalego like try to summon it, but it didn't work, or is this like every time a family member of Kalego tried to summon a familiar, it didn't work, so they at some point just said, you know what, it doesn't matter. Cerberus are pretty much like familiars, so we are just going to have Cerberus as our familiars from day one. Like, it doesn't matter anymore. And then we have Iruma being like, that's amazing. As Kalego just looking at him back, and and I guess he continues, our familiar serves as a crucial shield for those who live in the netherworld. So waiting to keep a strong familiar is only. So wanting to keep a strong familiar is only natural. However, the demon's familiar is not the sole indicator of their abilities. So I guess this is Kalego just explained to us, yes, it's not unusual for you to want a strong familiar, but they are not exactly all that necessary. And we have him continue, and oh, this is one of those flashback pages where we have a characters progressing through the story to exactly what they are specifying. That's a better imagery. Here at Babyless, we train students, polish them, and teach them to survive. And you too have learned a lot here. And then we have all of the big times that Iruma did something amazing that he didn't need Kalego to teach him. And then we have Kalego continuing, even if you lose me as your familiar, you'll still have the abilities that you've cultivated here. And Iruma is a bit shocked that he's saying something like this. He's like, my abilities? As we see a close up on the ring. I am thinking, I'm guessing. And then Kalego's like, Iruma, I'm sure nothing would change. And then we have Kalego in his own way complimenting his students. Everyone around you will still be as loud as ever. Do stupid things with each other and annoy the hell out of me, as always. Yeah, but it's not gonna be as adorable as it was before. That's no change, honestly. And then he's like, so there's nothing to worry about. And then we see Iruma just smiling, saying, okay. And then we see them going back, welcoming back, or maybe going to Opera and Balam. And then we see Iruma, saying waving goodbye to them since they've finished a private conversation. We see them drinking tea, and times it. In fact, we get a little bit of a countdown. It's 6 seconds to 11 p.m. 4, 3, 2, 1, tuck. And the contract is poof, finished. And we see the reactions to it. The contract is broken. And Seacock will be like, pew, it's over. I guess this was gonna be like his nerves or trying to make sure that no one tries to prevent it. And so Iruma saying, Kalego sensei, thank you for the past year. And then we see Kalego look at him. And so Iruma will be like, I'm sorry, it must have been rough for you, but this year I'll do my best. Sensei? As we see Kalego just stepping back away, and he's like, follow me. As we get to the summoning ritual thing, a familiar summoning ritual location. And then Kalego's like, now, let's begin your familiar re-summoning ritual. Ah? And then, Iruma's a bit shocked, like, re-summoning? And then we have Kalego be like, don't get the wrong idea. I guess, and now Kalego explains to what it exactly means, since there's probably a bit of a confusion by some of the people. Wait, if the whole point was to cancel the contract, why are you reinstating the contract? And Kalego's like, this is a ritual to summon a new familiar. As the teacher in charge of some familiar summonings, I shall oversee what kind of familiar you summon. So I guess that was his plan, like, alright, you can get a new familiar, fine, like, I was a special case, so you'll be able to get it. So we have Kalego be like, don't worry, breaking a familiar's contract prevents you from ever summoning it again. And he's like, no. Like, Iruma stops. Now, I wonder if this means that if someone fails to, like, restart their contract, for whatever reason, they can just get a new one, or if that familiar doesn't work with their own, if that means, familiar can just be its own. Since Iruma is a special case, and I believe Kalego is aware that Iruma is a human. I'm not exactly sure. It's kind of pretty tough to. I believe it's pretty very kind of who actually knows it and who doesn't knows it, unless it's a big thing. I think. Okay. I know that it's the Irma's grandfather, Oprah, Alice, Asmodeus, Clara, Balaam, and Kyo, and maybe that guy who's gonna appear in the next season of anime may know, but just, to say the least, a very limited amount of people know. And it goes like step forward as Iruma steps forward, and then we have Iruma, I guess, making a new familiar. And he's looking at Sensei. He's like, "Thank you, Sensei." And now we have Iruma be like, "Please, now please watch and see." Grip, and he gets ready to summon a new one. As Iruma's like, "I'll grow up, and I've grown up, and so has my familiar." Whoosh, and then we are summoning, and the familiar you summon is Kalego again. And we see Iruma and Kalego realizing, wait, what? I'm again summoned? As they look towards it and they see the familiar circle again over Kalego's body, and they're like both, huh? Huh? Over the entire school as they're like, and then Kalego's like, what is going on? And so I'm like, what? I'm not sure. Pull. It's pulling me up. And it goes like, it's pulling me up. Oh, now I guess we get the narrator to explain what's going on. Once the contract is cancelled, the summoner can never summon that familiar again. That is correct. It's obviously correct. However, the only applies to contract between demons and magical beasts. It does not apply to Iruma, who is a human. When a human tries to summon a demon, the demon nearest to them at that moment will inevitably appear. Ah! So I guess this is all that this is hilarious. So basically, Kalego, with his attempt of constantly being near Iruma, 100%, he ended up actually jeopardizing himself to the point that now Iruma is now going to have summon him automatically. That's hilarious. And then we see Iruma screaming, Kalego screaming, push me down! I like, which is got funny because the last time they did that, Iruma was actually pushing him up instead of down. And you have Iruma be like, right, and he struggles to push him down. And then you have go be like, at this rate, not again. And then I'm guessing someone says rise. And then he looks over and he sees Upper is still jumping up and down with sparkles on him, and Bob in the background laughing as he grabs a hold of Gargo's leg and pushes him up, and he goes like, wait! And Upper's like, up we go! Stop! And Gargo is once again the familiar. So don't worry, anyone who's worried about Gargo not becoming a familiar again. We are still getting familiar Kalego. And I'm sure all the fangirls are happy as all hell. Especially that girl that's in love with Kalego. And then we have, I guess, Narish again. Naberius Kalego's 13 hours have passed. And in the end, the familiar contract was successfully renewed. Kalego took a paid leave after this. uh, please take care of Iruma this year too, Sensei. I guess Kalego was so fucking done with this that he actually should have laughed. It's funny that he actually did that. I'm not sure if it was because of Oppa jeopardizing him or just like, you know what? I'm gonna take some time off. Like, I can be summoned whenever Iruma needs me, but I'm just gonna stay here. I wonder if this whole paid leaves will actually lead into something, or if it's just gonna be like one chapter, one episode thing, and the next time Kalego will be near, he'll appear already. Like, not needing to be summoned, just like he'll be next time we'll see him. I'm not exactly sure. The final battle with Iruma bowing, Kalego looking at himself as offers like, yay. As Balan's like his knees is just hilarious. Like God was like, not again. And like sorry, even though he didn't really do anything. I was like, great, that's a good thing. It's like oh my god, we're gonna have through this again. So yeah. This chapter was a pretty hilarious conclusion, as well as a bit of a more serious one. And it's great to get more lore behind the whole how does some things work in the demon world. Like, well, how does the whole possess and that type of stuff work? which was pretty hilarious in all honesty, and pretty interesting. Thing. So yeah, this chapter is pretty much just a conclusion to this little story part. It's nothing really much. In all honesty, I feel like we all have kind of expected it would end up with Kalego being being back to his familia in some form of way. And looking back at it, we should probably predicted that even if the 13 hours would have been cancelled, it probably would have still somehow ended with Kalego becoming a familiar again. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if it had been something like, oh, because Ilma's a human and Kalago's a high-ranking demon, the contract is more permanent than a contract would be, or something like that. I feel like we should have guessed that. In fact, I would have probably. In fact, it would have been even more hilarious if Kalago finds out. Wait, the 13 hours have passed, and yet our contract hasn't been disappearing at all. Wait, can you still summon me? Ilma, summon me. It's like, no! That would also be pretty hilarious, but this one is also like more emotional and more like the character development and more like meaningful. So yeah. Anyways, guys, I hope you like this reaction. I hope you leave a like and subscribe to this channel for more videos in the future. Sure. And with that said, I cannot wait to see all of you people next time. Goodbye.